Come on, yaka. They in the Benz like Spragger. One bag of weed and mama clock grabber. Jeez. Walk on, we telling me it's G blockery up in this biatch. Biatch. What the fuck on with my lie to be? But yeah, we nearly ready, man. Yeah? Alright. Star. Pick up the people them in the place, like the like button, share the stream, all that. All that, this, that. Alright, big up, big up. Real quick one, yeah? Real quick, yeah, because real fast. You go fast. Toothbrush get out the dust fast. Everybody have to ask where you get the clouds. Man, alright, so number one, old tight leggy. Don't smoke no ciggy when we ride out a 2-pack and biggie. Jeez, big up. Old tight King H, like number one, They are big up. Old tight scientific method. They are how them feel alright. Mad. Old tight OG Helen James. They are common. Simon Harrison did it. Come on, let it play. Alright, man. So, you know, it's funny, innit? Like, today, these new so-called patriots, that's what I'm calling them, man, them. Patriots. Big up Adam Smith. Come on, big up, big up. Patriots and anti-British people keep saying stuff like Margaret Thatcher was the best Prime Minister Britain had. I'm saying Margaret Thatcher was the beginning of the ending of Royal Britannia. Yeah, me, cuz them sell after something them. Yeah, me. Mad. Alright, come on. Let it play.
Still banging on about Margaret Thatcher having been a good leader. It's usually the ones who claim that people who didn't like her were unpatriotic. Oh yeah, Margaret Thatcher. She was so patriotic that she sold off all her assets and utilities to foreign companies. You wonder why you can't get fast broadband? Thatcher. Rivers full of crap, literally. Thatcher. And people are blaming immigrants for not being able to buy their own home. It's not people from overseas who are stopping you from buying a house, however much power you think they have. Margaret Thatcher was in charge of the country for over a decade, so I think she might have something to do with it, with her policy of selling off all the council homes and not building new ones. She pulled off the biggest con of the century, told you to buy your own house, which you did, and then took away NHS funding for adult social care. So now, instead of leaving your house to your kids, your house is going to the private care companies. So for all those who are saying she was a great leader and she stood up for what she believed in, yeah, that was what she believed in. Oh, I see people are still banging on about Margaret Thatcher having been a good leader. It's usually the ones who claim that people who didn't like her were unpatriotic. Oh yeah, Margaret Thatcher. She was so patriotic that she sold off all her assets and utilities to foreign companies. You wonder why you can't get fast broadband? Thatcher. Rivers full of crap, literally. Thatcher. And people are blaming immigrants for not being able to buy their own home. It's not people from overseas who are stopping you from buying a house, however much power you think they have. Margaret Thatcher was in charge of the country for over a decade, so I think she might have something to do with it, with her policy of selling off all the council homes and not building new ones. She pulled off the biggest con of the century, told you to buy your own house, which you did, and then took away NHS funding for adult social care. So now, instead of leaving your house to your kids, your house is going to the private care companies.
Your boss is blaming him. Your boss can sit indoors complaining about immigrants because the immigrant goes out to work to fund her lifestyle every day. and complains about immigration and immigrants. That's the reason why we ain't got enough housing. Stop lying. You're a liar, you know. Stop lying, man. And stop capping. Yeah, man. Stop the blood clot capping. Yeah, no cappings. Yes, you do have a boss, man. Stop it, man. You do have a boss, mate. Yeah? Yeah. The big boss. You get me? Yeah, man. Rick Rouse, the boss. Your boss is always barling about immigrants. Immigrants are doing this, that, and the other. But never saying big up the immigrants that go to work every day to fund my lifestyle. Yeah, especially the one that's inside my house. Yeah, because if it weren't for immigration, you see that brother there? He wouldn't be able to fund my lifestyle. So me can sit on internet and moan about, you get me? And ball about the immigration and how we don't have enough houses and ting and ting and ting and ting and ting and ting a ling a ling. School better ring. You hear me? Yeah, man, stop the cap. Alright, yeah, man, we're just warming up still. Alright, man. So Richard Tice is Tim Nice but them, innit? Yeah? If you're, this is mad that I'm saying this, yeah, because this is something that my parents used to say when there's kids about. Now you have to be old enough to get these jokes there, you get me? Yeah, man, so, you know what I mean? If you're an 80s baby or earlier, you know, maybe early 90s, you might get that one day, yeah? Tim, nice but dim. Let it play.
Yourself.
Part of the establishment.
Why did you get into politics?
Money.
If Reform do get elected, how long would you like your first term to be?
Between 200 years and 1,000 years.
Do you have a message for your members?
Do you want to pay an extra £400 or £500?
And who's that money going to?
The British people.
Cool.
Maybe actually the American people.
Okay. What's your climate change policy based on?
Arrogant naivety.
If climate change was James Bond, how would he introduce himself?
Change climate change.
What do you think about recycling?
It's got to stop.
Can I recycle the Reform manifesto?
No, that's absolute garbage.
So you believe that humans have had no impact on climate change?
Always will.
Who are the people who disagree with that?
Experts and scientists and professors.
And who agrees with it?
President Trump.
Right. How much does the hot air that's coming out of your mouth contribute to climate change?
1% of CO2 emissions in the world.
How would you advise I interview someone who's a known liar?
If you ask the right question, you get the right answer.
Okay, what was your favourite thing to do at school?
Pylons.
What turns you on?
The power of volcanoes.
What noise do you make when people get something wrong? What part of the job does Nigel find hardest?
To lead the US.
Can you sing any Cher?
Do you believe... Yes, we believe in the countryside.
What do you think of my satire?
It won't make any difference.
It's a bit of fun though, isn't it? Richard. Well, if you want to be like that. I've heard that you like eating poo.
And we...
You just told all my viewers that you like eating poo and wee, mate.
They know they're being lied to.
What kind of person would make something that's so obviously fake just to drive traffic and engagement to themselves when in reality they have nothing of value to say? Imagine that. Ding.
I like he's a cross between Tory Boy and Tim Nice but dim. Bad. He's bowling though still. You know? Yeah, man. But alright. Let's get to work, innit? Yeah, British. Obviously, there's a good few things. You know what's mad here is that some people are okay with some people having complaints about the place where they live, and some people, and the same people, are not okay with other people that live in the same place having complaints about the place where they live. It's strange, that, isn't it? It's like some people are allowed to complain. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I lost my job. Yeah, I ain't got a job no more, man. God damn. Yeah, man. Social services arrested me as well. Yeah. But anyway, like I was saying, yeah. So, what's it called? British democracy, the democratic system, things like House of the Lord, first past the post, the monarchy. It's mad, isn't it? Like, raw. Man, them say they want democracy, yeah, but they want to keep the monarchy. The monarchy are a big drain on the economy, innit? Like, we're literally paying for one certain family to live a certain lifestyle, yeah, that none of us could even, well, the majority of us can't even dream of. You hear me? Yo, I imagine, yeah, your ancestors, yeah, took land off of other people that own the land, and then from 1066 onwards, these people have been paying you taxes for that land and to live a certain lifestyle. Mad! Oh my days. So, even first past the post, yeah, and like I was saying, this glass ceiling, yeah, that people can't see until they get too close to it. Some people get to slide through, you know what I mean? Like, it's got retractable doors where, you know, it might open quickly and allow someone to slide in. Yeah, like a Gary Economics was able to slide past the glass ceiling from having, like, you know, some exceptional skills in maths and a little bit of luck and help on along the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, the man told him how to bust the game. Yeah. The other man told him how to really study the economy of the UK. Right, you're gonna give him blocks in the gaps and that, then, you know, I'm gonna slide through. You get me, cuz? Hey, tell me you heard Wisdom's diss track. Nah. Who's that? Umar made a diss track, yeah? Mad. Brother, you can't make a diss track, cuz, in your mum's dress. Talking about any gangster shit, cuz. Hey, you mad? You got bullied through the internet. And the man told you to go and put your mum's dress on. Yeah, because mad. Yeah, man, Umar, man. You're a waste, man. Yeah, man. And go and suck your mum, man. While you're wearing her dress. Yeah? You're batty, man. Go and go suck your mother while you're wearing her dress. You dickhead. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah? Yeah. British democracy. Critical thinking being taught in the schools that are not private schools, innit? Like state schools. That's what I was trying to find the word for it. Yeah, state schools. And all them sort of things there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so obviously the reason why people are paying for these private schools and certain boarding schools, certain nurseries and blah 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 and ra-ta-ta, yeah, is because it's like access to a certain crowd. Why do you think these men are willing to pay that sort of money, right? Because when their children come out of there and they are able to join certain circles, like their income's going to be much more than what they had to put in. And there's some and you gotta pay, cause you know. Wait, hold on a sec here. Imagine there, Mr. Serious. This is Reason for debate. He's asking for Bumbleclad diss track against Wells. Are you mad? Oh my days. Lord of mercy. Man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Nah. You gotta get mad, you know. That's how I know you man are real life pagans. Don't tell me about no serious talk. We just want serious debates. We just want serious debates and discussions. Yeah? Man told you about this track. You get me? Well, man scaling the internet to find out the things. Oh, man. Man, McLeod, man. Well, move up. Yeah, man. Mad. I can't believe it. Yo, new man try it like they're serious, you know. Hey, God, man, shut up, man. Yo. I lie? Come on, man. Everyone loves hating on Bells, cause I'm like Chris Rock hat. Everybody loves Chris, man. Man, haters, yeah, because, you know. Yeah, man. You know. That's how you know, cuz, yeah. You ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. Yeah, because. Oh, shit. Man said I was in my local town today. I thought it was a Syrian refugee camp. That's what, like, that. What made you think it was a Syrian refugee camp? Huh? There was a couple Turkish dudes there. Now there's Syrian refugee camp, you know. One Turkish barbershop on Man's High Street. Man's like, it's turned into Islamabad. Whole wrong country and all that. Oh, shit. Right. Oh. So, it's alright if the change of the scene of the town is new English people or whatever, but if it's anyone else making any change, yeah. Man, shut up, Captain, man, you idiot, man. You man are idiots, you know. Man, alright, go on then. Let me play this video real quick, right? Get the right with this balling, man. Don't cry, innit, man? Yeah. Shout out Maximilian Robespierre. Beheading them fake ass I lie, DJ. I'm like, God damn, every day these men are blaming the immigrants for the housing crisis. The one day, yeah, I'm like, right, these men blame immigrants for the housing crisis. You're like, whoa, when did we say that? What? God damn. That's mad. Mad. Alright, God, man. Let me play. Shout out Maximilian Robespierre. Subscribe to his channel. He's got a big ass channel. Yeah, got a lot of good videos giving his take on politics. This is a interview with Alan. Oh, mate, I can't remember the guy's name, man. You know, it just slipped off the top of my head, my bad. Yeah, but subscribe to his channel anyway. Let's have a quick little listen to this. Let it play.
I just don't think it's healthy for a democracy to have people living in such compartmentalized ways. If you're having a country run by people who never use the state schools, who never use the NHS, are they going to make good decisions in the interests of the majority? I'm not sure.
No, I agree 100%. Yes, you know, the people who have no intention of ever to use public state schools or public health are never actually going to really care about the consequences that it faces.
Yeah, that's a fact, and that is a fact. Tice, man, like Kale, walk on my G. Come on, rise up the machine, man. How you mean? Yeah, man, that is a fact, cause like I don't know why these working class people are trying to put faith in some people that will never even send their kids to state schools to do any sort of repairing to the state schools or whatever, especially a Farage or a Reform Party, yeah, that wanna turn it into American style of living over here. Hey, listen, yeah, some of the poor people in America are living a hard life, cuz. Yeah, remember we used to watch the films, yeah? Someone gets shot in America and they drive them to the hospital or something like that. Yeah, because if you order an ambulance, there's fees, cuz. The ambulance costs money, you get me? It costs money. Bamba Club, or did someone put a message in the private chat already? One of these weirdos. These weirdos that keep jumping in and out with these little fucking essays. It's like the same person that you'll probably want to slap or something, trying to type like it's someone else that's against them. So weird. These men are weirdos. In a real life, let it play.
I just wanted to add before we move on, it'd be interesting if a member of the royal family sent their kids to a state school. I think it'd send a very positive message to the state, to society, but I don't think they'd actually go down that road. Instead, on the other side of the coin, of course, is the state schools. So what way could those be improved?
I think the major challenge facing the state sector is teacher recruitment and retainment, because in a knowledge economy, which the UK should aspire to be, and I think does aspire to be, how are you going to have highly qualified children leaving school and thinking for themselves and being creative, etc., if you don't have excellent teachers? Yes. And the problem at the moment is that many graduates don't really consider a career in the classroom because it doesn't pay very well, and it's not very attractive if you have Ofsted looking over your shoulder all the time, if you're highly regulated, highly monitored, and it can become a sort of exam factory. And people are just worried about results and so on. And I think we need to look at Finland, for example, as a country with a much more enlightened attitude towards the state sector. And we ought to pay teachers more, but we ought to make their job a lot more enjoyable and a lot less stressful. It's stressful enough trying to teach children, as we know, but if you have all kinds of red tape and administration on your back as well, then it's difficult. So teacher recruitment is a key issue, and I think we really need to make it a career that is attractive to intelligent and our best graduates. There are other things too about the curriculum that I think we need to change, because as we know, as we've seen with Twitter becoming X and etc., the world is becoming a very difficult place to navigate, especially when you consider that a lot of young people get their news from social media. So I think we need to put more emphasis on things like media literacy, social media literacy, citizenship education, so people understand how a democracy works and what their role could be. I think also we need to teach things like climate change, which is going to become a huge existential threat if it isn't already.
Let me pause it there, man. Yeah, man, I don't know why they don't like they know all the loophole broken bits and so and so, but they never do anything to change it or whatever. Like, it's I don't know, man. It's just easier to carry on with the same status quo bullshit rather than change things up. Like, an improvement to the majority of the people's life is like an improvement to the state of the fucking world, isn't it? Like these extremely rich dons that have had it their way for generations, hundreds of thousands of years. We need some real change, guys. You know what I mean? Mad. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. Yo. Hey, Jordan, you see that? Bilal. Remember Bilal and, what was my man's name? Suleiman. Bilal and Suleiman. So now, Bilal changed into a belly. Still got a fade. But dash with the beard. He flipped it still. Billy, you know. Speaker's Corner's got mad place. It's like there's some weird vibes in there. Like, It's a strange place, man. Like, yeah. He's out of it, man. He's out of it, man. He joined Team Logic. You know? He joined Team Logic, cuz. You hear me? So. No one needs extremists like Bilal or Billy. Look, go stashing him away already. You could have him. That's funny, isn't it? Man, when you signed up, yeah, you're my brother. As soon as you dash where it's like, yeah, fuck it, you can have him. Let him have it. Yeah, me. You say, Billy got Dashway. Man. Dashway's straight early, you know. Yo. Yo. Yeah, man. But anyway, let's carry on with this video still. Yeah, bro.
And people are going to need to understand it. So perhaps we need to introduce it more into the curriculum. And we shouldn't forget about creativity. I think in the chase for academic qualifications, there are fewer and fewer children who want to study music or arts and the theatre and so on. And yet, statistics have shown that artificial intelligence is less of a threat to creative jobs than it is to other jobs. So if we want to, for example, avoid huge unemployment due to artificial intelligence, then the creative sector is quite a good one to concentrate on, because it's a huge sector already, and it's not prone to displacement by artificial intelligence, because very difficult to replicate human creativity. So I think the school curriculum could be tweaked to become more adapted to the modern world, which is very perilous, as we know, with disinformation, fake news, all kinds of manipulation. I think people need to understand much more about practical issues like that, and so we probably need to make the curriculum a little less academic and a little more practical.
Yeah, and I would include in that as well critical thinking skills, because I think it's so important that, certain politicians are saying, young children are being told what to think, and what needs to be happening is they need to learn how to think, and they need to be able to critically analyze the information that's provided to them, and no matter what.
Facts. That's what man's talking about. Instead of being told what to think, man need to learn how to think, bro. How to receive information and try and see what's actual true about what man's saying. So if you do take up any of the positions that these people were stating that people them should be, standing on or whatever, or when you're standing on them or whatever. Yeah, man. I don't really see what's wrong with that, man. Mad. Anyway, my God.
Where the source is, and understand, what are these sources reliable, and should I trust this information? And okay, yeah. So I'd like to move. Earlier on, we were talking about the democracy. We're talking about the House of Commons and the House of Lords, and how they have been outdated. They're outdated systems. What about the empire itself? You mentioned it in the book about how the empire still casts a shadow over Britain and the UK. What are some of the negatives or the problems that the role of the empire has had in the past, but also in the present?
Well, I think one of the main problems is that the British people don't seem to know much about the empire. I was not taught anything about the empire in my school in Wales, and I think that's a major problem. I learned about the empire when I wrote this book, really, and had to research it. I think it's important for every country to understand its past, and a huge part of the past of the UK is overseas. The emphasis seems to be on history teaching, emphasis seems to be on the kings and queens of England, what went on the mainland of the British Isles. We did learn about Ireland, by the way, and at school, but really so much about Britain is to be found in places like India, China, the USA, of course, and other parts, Australia, and we don't know what happened. And I think that's a huge problem. You can't imagine, for example, in Italy, that they wouldn't learn about the Roman Empire, or that in Greece they wouldn't learn about Alexander the Great, who did do most of his stuff far away from Greece. So why is it that the British don't teach the empire? I think is the first question. Then, of course, there's the thing that there seems to be a huge emphasis on what we did between 1930 1945. It's like we are given this kind of get out of jail free card by we were the heroes in 1939 to 1945 by helping to liberate Europe from the Nazis. That's true, but shouldn't we also know about some of the less good things that we did in the rest of the world in the centuries before the 20th century? So, for example, in China, we know that we forced the Chinese to buy opium that was grown in India, and so effectively we were a narco state profiting from the sale of drugs. We know that we starved many people in India by not releasing food supplies, so that in this Bengal famine, 3 million died. The Mau Mau, the resistance in Kenya was put down brutally, and the term concentration camp actually comes from the British in the Boer Wars in South Africa. So there are many, many things that we did and we got up to, and how we explored.
Yeah, man. You gotta learn the good, the bad, and the other, you know. Right. But, you know, the people them one, like, it's just good, innit, man? And then when the other people are talking about the bad side, it's like, oh, anti-British. Shut up, man. But go on, go dance, man. I let it blow.
Other countries, and I think that this gives us perhaps an over rosy view of what we of our past, and therefore the reaction that people should give to us. So during Brexit, for example, there was a kind of a mood that Britain would neglect the European market in favour of the Chinese market and the Indian market or whatever as faraway markets, without really realising that the Chinese might not be too sympathetic to us because of what we did to them in the 19th century. Similarly, the Indians, and there was this kind of view that we were going to be buccaneering, trading all over the world without knowing that we have a history that we should recognize, and at least we should know about it before we go and try and sell stuff to these former colonies of ours and former countries that we invaded. So I think that there's a big problem there, not to mention a lot of people in the immigration debate. People say, well, why are all these people coming from these countries and settling in the UK? And I'm thinking here about the countries like Pakistan or India or the Caribbean, and the reason is that we had a huge empire and that we included them as British citizens at one point. And if we hadn't done that, then probably these things wouldn't happen. But we have to accept our responsibilities as a country, and perhaps racism would be less if people understood more about slavery, for example, and what had happened.
There you go, man. Let it play. Old time Maiji. Yeah, let me just get his name right still, because some respect on the gangster's name. Yeah. It's Alun. Yeah, I can't see that properly still, but
And I always think it's quite amusing that the British put a great emphasis on the role in stopping the slave trade as opposed to carrying it out for 150 years previously, and the fact that we paid massive compensation to the slave owners when they stopped slavery, and we only finished paying it off in the 21st century. This
2015, I think.
Teachers more, but we.
Whoa. Let me pause it there, yeah. Shout out Alan Drake, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Come on, man. But the same thing in it, yeah, the same thing in it. When you explain this sort of stuff here, yeah, it's like you know, the man them start crying in it. It's weird. Oh man.
Emphasis on what we did between 1945. It's like we are given this kind of get out of jail free card by we were the heroes in 1939 to 1945 by helping to liberate Europe from the Nazis. That's true, but shouldn't we also know about some of the less good things that we did in the rest of the world in the centuries before the 20th century? So, for example, in China, we know that we forced the Chinese to buy opium that was grown in India, and so effectively we were a narco state profiting from the sale of drugs. We know that we starved many people in India by not releasing food supplies, so that in this Bengal famine, 3 million died. The Mau Mau, the resistance in Kenya was put down brutally, and the term concentration camp actually comes from the British in the Boer Wars in South Africa. So there are many, many things that we did and we got up to, and how we exploited other countries. And I think that this gives us perhaps an over rosy view of what our past, and therefore the reaction that people should give to us. So during Brexit, for example, there was a kind kind of a mood that Britain would neglect the European market in favor of the Chinese market and the Indian market or whatever as faraway markets, without really realizing that the Chinese might not be too sympathetic to us because of what we did to them in the 19th century. Similarly, the Indians. And there was this kind of view that we were going to be buccaneering trading all over the world without knowing that we have a history that we should recognize, and at least we should know about it before we go and try and sell stuff to these former colonies of ours and former countries that we invaded. So I think that there's a big problem there. Not to mention a lot of people in the immigration debate. People say, well, why are all these people coming from these countries and settling in the UK? And I'm thinking here about the countries like Pakistan or India or the Caribbean. And the reason is that we had a huge empire, and that we included them as British citizens at one point. And if we hadn't done that, then probably these things wouldn't happen. But we have to accept our responsibilities as a country, and perhaps racism would be less if people understood more about slavery, for example, and what had happened. And I always think it's quite amusing that the British put a great emphasis on the role in stopping the slave trade as opposed to carrying it out for 150 years previously, and the fact that we paid massive compensation to the slave owners when they stopped slavery, and we only finished paying it off in the 21st century. This day.
2015, I think it was, yes.
Right.
So it's I think the British would benefit from a dose of reality and a dose of perspective, and I think it's lacking, and I think we would become a much more well-rounded nation if we had a real deep understanding of our history, as we should, because it's certainly something you can't ignore. Whether you approve of empire, whether you're a fan of empire, it was the biggest empire the world has ever seen, and it can't be ignored. It has to be taught. It has to be learned about.
I think that's so important, and every state believes that they were the good guys in every situation, but I think it's important for us to take a step back and to teach the positives and the negatives, to teach the good things that our countries did, and also the negative, because as you said, we have a much more rounded education and understanding of our history, and when we know more about our history, we can make better decisions for the future, I think. So I just want to finish on one final thing about the future. Are you optimistic about the future of the UK? There's a new government. Labour have taken over. They appear to be more pro-European or more outward-looking, as opposed to the Brexiteers or the Brexiters and the Conservative Party. Is your view more optimistic as we go forward, or is there the problem of maybe what's happening on the other side of the pond, which gives you a bit of doubt?
Well, I have to say I'm not very optimistic in the short term, at least. I think even though the government has got a large majority, it seems to be quite timid and not very bold at the moment. That might change. But for example, with regard to the House of Lords, they seem to be tinkering rather than going for a wholesale reform. They seem to be just talking about the hereditary peers and not the whole system. It's so big, the House of Lords, like 800 peers. It's 10 times the size, 8 times the size of the US Senate, and so there's a lot of work to be pruning work to be done here, at the very least, if not completely reforming it. PR, proportional representation, well, I believe there's quite a lot of support for it in the Labour Party and at the Labour Party conferences. I think these motions tend to get through and they tend to get large, wide-scale support, but there doesn't seem to be much appetite for PR in the leadership of the party, which is disheartening. So I can't be very optimistic in the short run, but I think in the long run, maybe the younger generation, a new generation of leaders, maybe in 20 years will realise that things have to change, that you can't go on with the current ramshackle system, that there has to be root and branch reform to make the democracy more responsive, more representative, more participatory, and to get people involved. So I hope that in the
Yeah, man, they definitely need to improve the education, man, like in places like Canada, because, Babs is out here trying to tell us like that this slave trade included English dons getting enslaved and that. I'm not too sure about that one there still, but
Mega, come on, make Britain great again, make England great again. But what's so wrong with
England great again.
that? But yo, Valido, what's the teaching, bruv? These, and not everybody, but big up Black man, you know what I'm saying? He actually cares about the future of this country and the civilization in this country, you know what I'm saying, in the future, yeah. But certain these mans, bruv, why is it, and people don't talk about it, what is that defense, that defense mode? Nah, we brought you lot the railway, and we gave you technology, all of this before the effect, like, when I always used to talk about the Mao and the Kenyan people, right? And when I used to always talk about
on stuff like that, that's why.
No, man, no, I get that though, but why would I not accept? Look, you love are castrating people. You know, when you talk about, when they talk about concentration camp, the biggest concentration, no, and the first concentration camp was with these mans. You know what I'm saying, in Kenya. So my point is really like, what is it that makes these people? Is this an act or is this natural? You know what I'm saying? Is this like, some of these people are just, is this they're just naturally flowing like this? In denial of the past, or is this like
No, it's just
it's their
anyone that's
strength.
not
It's their strength
educated
of
about
their impact.
subjects and people that are willfully ignorant will say ignorant and uneducated things. That's it.
No, I think there's more to this, brother, man. I think it's the strength of the empire. You know what I'm saying? It's, as the empire is coming to an end, yeah. These are the people that keep, the empire on the last leg. You know what I'm saying? Like being in denial. It's the last tool in the toolbox, like they say. You know what I'm saying? This is the last bit, bro. You know what I'm saying? They have to be in denial for them to at least keep on for the next couple of, if they're luckily 60 years from now, to still being able to hold control of, the world, how it, and it's not about, the mineral, this and that. Nah, the world, the people, how people are waking up. Eventually, you're gonna see a kid growing up. You're gonna see this kid, when he goes to school, yeah, to the museum, the British Museum, the school, and he start telling his teacher, you know what, this came from Africa. You know why, bro? Because now everybody's got like a device on their hand. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that, bro? When it catches up, even the youths, they're gonna be in denial. Nah, this doesn't come from here. This was stolen from there. We know the history about this. You know, Damos, what do you reckon? Is this why they have to act like this? They're trying to like kind of slow it down for it to reach that stage, Like, bro, like, I'm sorry about to monologue, yeah? The other day, I watched this survey, yeah? What's it called? Statistics they were checking, yeah? They said they went around and asked young people the percentage, how many young people would actually want to fight for their country if it comes to, war, yeah? 80% of them said, nah, fuck this country. No, sorry, brother. F this country messed up, colonial war and this and that. You know what I'm saying? They're all talking about colonial. We don't want nothing to do with this, their past, you know what I'm saying? So what is it, young people want to kind of be free from the savageness and this savage imperialist nature, these elder people, like these certain people we see, yeah? They have. Come on, bro. I know you get what I'm saying, really. Young people now waking up, bro. What are you saying? What do you think about that? When these people still wants to hold on to the British Empire and the savageness, they have to make sure this was actually a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when they say, funny thing is, I always keep hearing the saying, Jamaica wants to, they want to get rid of the king or blah, blah. Why don't you just leave, yeah? But these people don't understand, when you're part of the Commonwealth, our tax money, when the government will go around collecting even tax for that woman selling, let's say Kenya, if, some people don't like me to talk about Jamaica, yeah? Let's talk about Kenya, a Commonwealth country, yeah? That woman that's selling tomato on the road, when the city council walk past, they're going to demand a tax. That tax, at least 60% of that tax go to the British Empire. So don't think you're not talking about taxpayers' money. We're paying tax. You're not collecting all the world's tax. You're collecting all of these countries that's part of the Commonwealth. So you're here talking about Pakistanis, and Pakistan don't have right to come in this country. But you know what? That food vendor in Pakistan, he's still paying tax in Britain. He's paying his tax that goes directly to Britain. But no one actually looking at that. They just think Commonwealth is just a fancy word, Nah, mate. It is what it is. Yeah, man. I would like to actually debate on that, bro. Somebody would like to come and talk about that. Why do us Commonwealth nation have to pay tax to the motherland? You know what I'm saying?
Let's check it. This pussy was.
It's me, man. What's going on in there?
That's you. Oh, welcome.
Cool, man.
Oh, welcome, man. My bad.
That's good.
Really, I'm eating, yeah, but if I might ask Khan that question, Khan, what do you think about
and in
these
English
nation
today,
paying
yeah?
taxes, man?
Big up, Asketty, bro. It's nice to hear your voice nice and clear for once.
Bro,
Right, let me play the rest of this video,
it's
innit?
Veli,
Then
man.
so you can carry on.
Veli, he pressed that button, man. It's Veli. He's the one. Come on, fam.
It's you, bro. We sure. It's your what's it called,
But
man?
what happened though? I swear that
It's
the
your
other
XRP mic, man. You gotta use
nah,
you gotta use the
it's
XRP, man, and stop stacking it up, cause you know what I
bro.
mean.
I'm telling you something. When I had the S20, when I had the S22, my XRP, my wallet was good. As soon as I jump on the X23, X24, S24, this will start happening. But listen, forget about that, Valley. I was gonna ask you something though, and what's it called? What do you think about Commonwealth nation have to pay tax to Great Britain, the motherland, Britain, and these people are completely in denial, you know? You know?
Yeah, I think like down the road we're gonna have to kind of like get to that, innit? We're gonna have to get to them things because it's like there's a new world order playing out now, and the old things have to kind of come to an end. Because now we've seen America and England or America and Europe, they're falling out over the Ukraine. Like, why is that happening? Because
Well,
it's a new world that it's a new world that we're living in. It's a new world, and it's all to do with resources, isn't it? And
did you hear?
like
Did you hear
the
Zelensky?
common the
Did
Commonwealth
you hear
thing, it's
Zelensky?
like, huh?
Oh, what did
No,
you
did
say?
you hear Zelensky? If America don't want to pay, we want the Russian money. We want the oligarch money, you know, the 250 billion. Zelensky is a
Mm.
proper idiot, you know. But carry on, brother, man. And yeah, Commonwealth, man. That money, you know, people talking about we
Hey,
building
wait,
the
you
railway,
lot, wait
this
up,
and that.
man. Let me play the rest of this video, and then you lot can carry on chatting, man.
Yeah.
Future in my children's lifetime there might be a change, but I can't say that I'm optimistic. And I think it's a shame because we are facing ever greater challenges. I think I've mentioned AI, artificial intelligence, I mentioned climate change, but there are other things which you really need a robust democracy to discuss. For example, we might need to be discussing one day a universal basic income if many people are made unemployed because of AI. We might have to discuss a wealth tax if economic growth doesn't materialize. The only way to actually get the health service back up and running or to modernize the welfare state is through is maybe through a wealth tax, and that's going to be very controversial. Social care for the elderly, which is going to become an increasing problem as the population ages. Who's going to pay for it? A very thorny issue, and I would suggest that we need to really have a political system where these things can be debated seriously and not through the lens of the tabloids, which trivializes, personalizes everything. We need a democracy with long trousers. We need a democracy not with short trousers, which is what I would say we have at the moment. Too much focused on drama, theatre, PMQs, and the daily ups and downs. It's a bit like a football club. You can concentrate on the match results and the manager and the team's failings, but at the end of the day, a well-run football club depends on good infrastructure, a good training ground, a good medical team to repair the injuries to the players, a long-term strategy for buying and selling, a good youth scheme, and I would say at the moment we concentrate far too much on the daily tuning and throwing of politics and not enough on the underlying substructure, the system. I would say that the system is much more important than the players actually, and I hope that in the long term people will realize this and address the underlying issues, because until we do that, we're never really going to be addressing the key issues that face the UK as well as the rest of the world, because we're not in this on our own.
Fantastic.
It's a very good point, man. Bro, here beefing Muslim. What about AI, bro? AI is gonna make you jobless, man. You know what I'm saying, Khan? You know, these lot rather waste their time on beefing Muslims. But their leaders, bro, Nigel Farage is the one. He's probably already invested into AI. Probably got a big share inside AI. You know what I'm saying? Nobody look at Nigel Farage. Yeah, man. The leaders played you guys well.
I don't know, man. It's a difficult one, you know. It's like these lot, their whole culture is based on money. So if the money affects everything else, then you can't really blame them. You know, like back in the day when there was like rich Arabs swanning around London, like they owned the place. These lot were running around like little slaves, kissing their bumholes. Now all of a sudden Muslims are bad. It's the same with the African kings and royalty when they used to come to Europe. They used to have their bumholes licked out by the average English person. But now it's like black people are like lesser than. It's like, we don't want
What
black
was it?
people coming. We
Take
don't
me
want black
with you,
people
bro.
coming into this country. Yeah, but black people are like your kings, bro. Back in the day.
No,
Now all of a
take me.
sudden, the money situation changes, so your
Mm.
status changes according to that. Do you get me? It's
But
like
they're done, bro. They're getting
you know
played.
what it's like a skate. It's like you're married,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and you're earning
yeah.
big money, and your wife's like your slave, cooking and cleaning. As soon as you get made redundant, she's like, right, that's it. No more servitude. No more love.
No more. That's it.
You
That's
get
it.
me? That's how these
But
lot
bro,
roll. They got that bitch mentality. That's what they got.
but brother, that is something worse to this, brother. Big up yourself at that point. But what I'm trying to understand is, you see how these leaders have finessed these people. Let's cause some tension over there. Let these idiots start looking towards Muslim. While we're here trying to build up a system called AI, trying to make these people what's called either homeless, jobless, you know, literally nitties on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So in the next 20, if you lot turn into, who you gonna blame when you lot start scratching yourself on the middle of the street with no houses, nowhere to live? Some rich Australian Arab or some brown person coming, the government's gonna sell your houses, mate. It's always, remember this, and I always tell this, your country is for sale. You know what? I know this is for sale. All your national railway, your national buses, anything national is already sold. All you got left is probably some of these great Western railways and the underground, London Underground. That's it. You don't own
Yeah.
nothing, bro.
No, of course. But it's always been that way. It's always been that way, bro.
No,
Look at
fam, so
me.
what I'm saying,
Look
but
at me.
when their houses
It's
get
not.
sold,
Yeah. They don't even own their own banks and their own mortgage companies and their own life insurance policies. It's like other countries own all that shit.
all they own, I swear, the biggest company I reckon is, what's it called? British Tobacco. What's that? British American Tobacco.
British and
That's
American
the only,
tobacco, BAT.
and you don't even own that. Soon you're gonna have somebody buying you out from that as well. Because that is,
Well,
I know at least that one is reaches everywhere internationally. You know what I'm saying? You always find
yeah.
all of these cigarette packets, most of them, you know, especially in Africa and that, bare British American tobacco. But what I'm saying, nationally, what do you really own? Nothing. Even I remember what's it called? PR cruise. You remember that PR cruise ship that last year made
P
a
and
lot of
Q?
stuff.
No, I don't know. Yeah, go on.
You know, there was this massive, this cruise ship company. Yeah, it was something P
Yeah.
and Q. They made all their staff redundant. You know, because Englishman owned it. Guess what happened?
Oh, you mean
It just
P&O?
made,
P&O
yeah,
ferries?
P&O, yeah. I swear
Yeah.
it's owned now by Arab, Saudi billionaires.
Yeah.
Because you can't even, because you can't even do business. You need Arab to come and bail you out. Like look at right now, Manchester United. They're in 760 billion in debt. They're literally 3 points away from relegation. Yeah, based on what? Because they have a English manager called Jimmy Ratcliffe, who don't really care about this. He looks at it as a business. You know what I'm saying? But what's gonna happen, brother? An Arab guy is gonna find a loophole. So as soon as right now it's probably estimated something like 2 billion or something. But Arab is gonna wait when the club is worth 700 million or something, and it's gonna buy it.
Yeah, that is
So
why
that's what
they need to introduce democracy proper. So we got proportional representation, like introduce proper education, so we have critical thinkings and start reducing the wealth inequality gap. So we have more educated people from all backgrounds being able to take opportunities in all these different places, and it won't just be a certain set of few people and their selected few that can be able to achieve this, that, and the other. It should raise the living standards for more people in the country, and obviously that's better for everyone in the country. And then obviously, if them sort of things can be spread
But
throughout
brother, a
the
businessman
rest
like
of the
Nigel
Well, Veli, let me comment. Let me comment on what you're saying, Veli, when you're done.
wait, hold on. If these things can be spread throughout other places or whatever, where, like, obviously, my main thing is the wealth inequality gap is a knock-on effect that causes a lot of the other issues that fall out from not having enough funding, innit, guys? So
Permanently change
yeah, if
Can I
that can
just
be
say
solved,
something quickly to that? Can I just say something to that point?
then
The government and the elites are producing the people that it seems that they value the most. And in UK, as we can see from the ilk of Tommy Robinson, these working class idiots, that the people that are most in demand are the Dumbo workers. Like England is not short of intellectuals. England is not short of educated people. England is not short of scientists. They rule the world with science, bro. But what they really need is Dumbos. So what's the point of educating your people and preparing them to
no.
dominate the
What it
global?
is, yeah?
Wait. Let me let my
What it
point.
is?
Let me let my point. But let me let my point. What's the point of educating your people to the point where when they have the opportunity to go abroad, they will be doing that. They will be moving to places like Dubai or China or America or wherever they find the opportunity to leave this country and not be your slave no more. They will be doing that.
All right, what it is, yeah, it's like we're saying, if the in like employment, education, and all the other ways, like opportunities, education, and blah 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 blah, blah whatever, yeah. If the gap is closed, so more people are able to have certain opportunities and even be able to fulfill certain potentials, because some people, some children here have got some potential that they could feel, but because they're not able to get or enter certain circles or whatever, they don't get to fulfill their full potentials, innit? Like, so things like that would mean that, like, it would make it a less uneven society, and then obviously, like, it would raise the living standards for a lot of people that are able to perform at that level. And then obviously, if people were taught with more critical thinking skills and so and so, even better living skills, how to handle bills and things like saving money and conscious spending and blah 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 blah, whatever, yeah, then a lot more things with people even in the working class level would have a lot more understanding on, even though you are working class or one of the cogs in the wheel in a big company, because you do the work that you do, that equals that these big shareholders are able to take out the money that they get. So you do actually have some sort of power. So if you collectively with your other work colleagues are able to put a bit more pressure on the people that are higher up, that are giving out these wages or whatever, to cut down these bonuses and start spreading these bonuses between the actual people that's performing the roles or whatever, because these men actually, half of them don't actually even perform a role. It's just because they've got enough bread to become a shareholder in the first place or whatever. Then obviously there's going to be better outcomes for the people in these jobs and all that sort of stuff. They're like, it should be illegal for there to be like 300, 400, 500 times difference between the lowest paid and the highest paid in the company. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
brother, I
because
think
companies
that's a
fought
bigger
against
problem.
minimum wage coming in or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Companies fought against things like London waiting coming in. Companies fought against now the new minimum wage that's coming in, and even now the new national insurance thing. That obviously, because the NHS is lacking funding now, and now there's less income coming in because of Brexit and other things like that, yeah, COVID and blah blah
Brexit.
blah, since 2008, then obviously they need to raise more money to fund these other bits and pieces,
But this
and
is the
you know,
problem:
like,
raise money, but raise money and finessing society. These low IQ people, you know what I'm saying? And this is the problem. You know, these people are running towards someone like Nigel Farage, you know, a well-known businessman who will do anything for him to just to become a billionaire. I know he's not billionaire yet, but these people, how are these people trying to think that he cares about them? You know, them ones. But bro, there was something I was gonna say. What's the percentage of this in this country where people are living off, you know, paying, you know, installment, you know, like installment on your car, your TV, your bed, like things in your house, you know? That's a lot of households, right? And what I used to hear when I was in Kenya, yeah, they used to kind of diss the people in Britain and Europe. They're saying, bro, what you lot talking about? Okay, I might have this house, I might have my furniture, but at least I bought my furniture, I owned it. I don't have to pay on a monthly basic installment. Some of you guys even paying your clothing off on an installment.
yeah,
And
but
it's
bro,
something,
listen,
brother.
what you're doing, yeah, but bro, listen, yeah, it's like every time man's trying to offer up like what a solution could be, yeah, you're just only offering up just criticisms only, like no solutions in it. You're like, yeah, but these
Brother, this
people are
man,
shit because of blah 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 blah, but this is shit because of blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but anytime man's offering up solutions or the way forward or whatever, man, you just only just pointing out or just want to make criticisms. Like, that's calm. You can do that if you want still,
nah, I
but
told you,
like,
brother, you already made your
so,
point. Critical thinking. These are start thinking critically and start seeing for what it is. And bro, this is, I do believe this is why one of the
now it's not just
uh,
these lots, it's everyone in it, all of
the
us or
benefit
whatever.
of
It's
having
like, bro,
migrants in your
listen,
country.
like I said, if there's like, even in all communities or whatever, yeah, if people was able to work together to get the achievements and things that they feel like they needed for whichever section it is that they feel like needs pulling up or needs helping or that helping hand up here. Obviously, it's going to be easier to do, right? If you got more people that are able to put in a little, I don't know, half hour or whatever, rather than one person putting in 2,000 hours. Yeah, you got like 2,000 people putting in 1 hour. How much easier would that be? Like that's
Bro, this
basically
is
what I'm trying to say.
the
Innit? Like
current
it's
state
just
of the
a new
country,
style
bro.
of thinking of being able to achieve the stuff that whatever you feeling like needs to be achieved or whatever, and
100%,
with
but
them
this is the
sort of things.
current state of the country. The young generation don't really care about this country no more. Like I told you, bro, that's the statistic. They're saying, why do we have to fight for colonizers? And that's what the young people are saying. Like I've looked, there was different TV channels, you know what I'm saying? So, and you know, Nigel Farage was kind of talking about we need to bring our youths back and they need to love their country, blah, blah. But how do you, this is my point to you, Billy. How does someone like Nigel Farage, if they vote Nigel Farage, and how is he going to inspire the youths to become more working? He said something about since COVID-19,
Yeah, because
young people are more
he
on.
was saying about being able to change obviously the way that some people are, or the way that children are educated, and even closing the gap between the private schools and the state schools or whatever. So it brings like the education more into line, because like he was saying earlier in the interview, I don't know if I played it on this, it's like a going to taking two different methods of transport but arriving at two different destinations, isn't it? Like, right, it's the education system for the citizens of the UK, whether it's private or state funded. So really and truly, for the country to be at its best level or whatever, it's like the most needy, those people at the bottom should be receiving the same sort of education that could end them up in the same positions as people receiving private education or whatever. Like, but obviously, you receiving private education means that you're riding on like an aeroplane to the job, and this other person might be, because you're in state school, you're riding a boat to the job. But instead, right now, it's like you're riding a boat to somewhere cold, and these men are riding a boat to somewhere sunny. Because the private school education means that, especially if you have private school education in certain circles, like the upper 0.1% circles or whatever, like the earnings that you could be earning out of that, like if you get to do an internship with one of these big people and blah 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 blah, could outweigh the amount that people ever put in to their have to pay out, or that parents end up paying out for their education and whatever anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that then
Yeah.
them scenarios hardly happen for people of the working. But it used to be possible, innit? Like, for you to you work hard, you do well at your job, you might be able to move up through the ranks, then you could start to afford a little bit more than you was able to last time. But there's just wage stagnation means that even
I
though you
don't,
might be
bro.
getting paid more today than your parents were in Singapore, you can afford less than your parents could at the same time
Obviously,
right now,
brother,
because
wages has gone up, you know, and industry. But one thing I do have to be
but
on
inflation,
one thing
wages
I
hasn't
do
gone
have
up at
to
the
say,
same rate as
most
inflation.
billionaires, brother, came
Inflation,
from
the cost of
poverty. You know that
living has risen
most billionaires.
faster than wages. So if you was a low paid employer and you don't have no side hustle, second job or second sort of income or whatever, then obviously the like I was saying, the amount that you're getting paid today, the utilities that you can pay for, even the living conditions that you could afford today, is not the same, or not. It's probably less than your parents could in at the same time when they
Of
was at
course,
their
brother,
age.
but you have to understand wages was less at
But it
that
should
time.
be
Cost of living
you
was
should
less,
be able
you know. But
you
obviously
should be able
wages
to afford a little bit more
and
though, because
yeah,
each
yeah. But
generation meant that
yeah,
they was able, even at the same time or whatever, as long as they
you're right,
was
actually, you're right.
concentrating on the things that they needed to do, like in, i.e., education wise, employment wise, or business wise, or whatever, they would have been in a better position than their parents were at that time. So they would have been able to afford their own house, have a deposit, have a decent family, or and being able to pay for little trinkets and taking your kids on holiday or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but like not as many people can do them sort of things there with
100%, bro. You
probably
know,
a higher wage
100%. But even
but
look at it,
worse
bro.
living
Look,
standards. So
everything is gone. The
cost of
cost of
living
living. I
hasn't
can't
matched
believe it.
inflation.
Certain cars, bro. It is certain cars that used to be 40 bucks, like 2019, 18. Some of them now, look at this. Was it M5? 100, almost 100 bucks, bro. Everything has gone up, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is the government. I haven't expected. They're thinking everybody's uh, cost of living has gone up. The way of people's money has gone up. But that's not true. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's leading into another society where a lot of people are going to be left behind. And yeah, this is where the education is needed as well. But bro, I was going to tell you something though. One thing we do have to agree on though, yeah, most billionaires though has come from poverty. You know that, like proper poverty. Probably 1 mil a day or something. But yeah, man. Bro, I gotta charge my phone. You guys pick up, yeah?
Hey, yo, listen, I'm going to play a video real quick here because I just need to chat to Mrs. Velly real quick. Or if Khan can go on a little 5-minute monologue.
Not really. I'm in the gym, you know.
I'll tell you what, yeah. Let me.
Play a video. You lot want to swap? I'm gonna jump over there where you lot was.
Play the first start of this one.
Hi guys, I had the great pleasure to speak once again to the author of the book Fixing Broken Britain, Alan Drake, who works at the Council of Europe in Strasbourg. We spoke about a number of issues: Donald Trump's claim on Greenland, British democracy and the voting system, private education and the role the British Empire played in history. Alan also told me about his optimism, or the lack of it, about the future. Hope you enjoy it. Interview with Alan Drake. Alan, it's great to see you once again. You're a writer and you are, you're working at the Council of Europe. Before we get into the book that you have written, I'd like to get your opinion on some things that are happening, in this strange period we're living in. You've mentioned before how both Canada and Mexico have a relationship with the Council of Europe, or with Europe in general. Can you go into a little bit of detail about that?
Yeah, well, the Council of Europe, and it's great to be here, Max. The Council of Europe is an organization of 46 member states, including the UK, best known for the Court of Human Rights. And we have a number of observer states, as I've said in previous appearances. One is the Vatican, for example. Japan, United States is an observer state, as is Mexico and Canada. The Council of Europe's values are the core values are democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. So obviously we're keeping a very close eye on developments regarding Greenland, because not only is Denmark a member of the Council of Europe, of course, but we're very much concerned about the situation in Ukraine, where one former member state, Russia, invaded a member state of the Council of Europe, Ukraine, thereby breaking all kinds of international laws. And the Council of Europe has always been on the side of Ukraine ever since. So we believe in the sovereignty of territorial integrity, and we would be very upset, as I think everyone would in Europe, if there was any unauthorized intervention in Greenland. But I think that's a common position of all international organizations that believe in the rules-based order.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's get on to your book, because you have written a book. What was the motivation behind writing this book?
Well, I guess there were two factors, and I've been living in France for 29 years now, working for the Council of Europe. And the first thing, as you know, when you live in a foreign country, is that you have a good point of comparison comparison with your own country. So in my case, comparing France and the UK, and they're two very similar countries in terms of population size and the size of their economies. And what I've noticed all of the decades I've been in France is that they deliver very high quality public services in a way that it seems to be a challenge and a problem in the UK. For example, take the health service here in France. There are no waiting lists to get into hospital. You just make an appointment. With GPs, it's the same. There's no problem. You ring up or even book an appointment online. No problem at all. And you can even change your GP in the same day if you want and choose a different one. And of course, there's a lot of dentists in France, so there's no problem getting dental care. Another factor is public transport is excellent in France. I think everyone knows about the fast trains, the long distance trains in France, which are very reasonably priced and very reliable and very fast. Here in Strasbourg, they have no fewer than 6 tram lines. Strasbourg is a city even smaller than Cardiff, where I grew up in Wales. And in Cardiff, there's not one tram line. So Strasbourg has a lot of good public transport, which in my hometown, I don't see. So that was what I really wanted to explore in the book was how come one democracy manages to deliver high quality public services and another one finds that to be very difficult. The second thing, after Brexit, a lot of colleagues, and I have a lot of colleagues from other countries, came up to me and said, what's going on with the UK? They were mystified why a country that's seen as pragmatic, cool-headed, and sensible would do such a thing as to leave a major trading bloc, erect trade barriers against itself, make it more difficult for its citizens to travel and to live in other countries. And so I thought I'd write a book that would go beneath the daily cut and thrust of British politics, which is well covered in the media, the personality soap opera of British politics, and look underneath the bonnet of British democracy and see what the weaknesses are and try and explain that for people who live in other countries, but also for British people who might not see the big picture because they are looking at things on a daily basis and they can't really stand back, which you can when you live in another country and you have a point of reference. So that's what I was trying to achieve in the book, and I hope I succeeded.
Can you tell us about some of the problems that you did bring up in the book? But also, I think what the point that you made there about having a different perspective is really important. I've seen it myself when I live in Italy, and it's a good way for you to see what's positive and negative about both societies, both countries.
Yeah, man. So obviously, he's given an introduction to himself and what his role is in France, them stuff and all them things there, you get me? But yeah, so he's going to speak a little bit about democracy and Trump and all that sort of stuff there still. Yeah, so man.
So when it comes to the problems in British democracy, can you tell us a little bit about some of them?
Yeah, well, there's a story about a reporter who once asked the great Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi, Mr. Gandhi, what do you think of Western civilization? And Gandhi replied, it would be a nice idea. And if anyone asked me about British democracy, I'd take the Gandhi line and I'd say, yeah, that would be a nice idea if it existed. By that? Well, let's look at the institutions very quickly. First of all, there's the head of state, the king, a monarch. And I don't think you can get much further away from democracy than monarchy, giving a line of succession within one family. I'm not going to get into a debate about monarchy, but there are many constitutional monarchies in Europe, as we know, in the Netherlands, in Sweden, etc. Let's go to the House of Lords next. Now, the House of Lords is completely nominated. Again, everyone who's in there has not been elected. So it's again is the opposite of democracy. And we know that to get into the House of Lords, you have to be wealthy, you have to be a member of the elite, you have to be well connected. and you can be a member of a bishop of the Church of England, one particular branch of Christianity in a country with Islam and many other religions. So the House of Lords is not democratic either. So then we come to the House of Commons. Now, the House of Commons, of course, is elected, but I would argue that it's elected on a very unfair system, first past the post. This is a system that gives wildly unrepresentative results. For example, in the last election, Labour got 33% of the vote, but they got 66% of the seats. The Reform Party got 14% of the vote, and they got, I think, 1% of the seats. 6%, six MPs is 1% of 650.
Can you explain why that's the case for people who may be looking at this and not understanding why the first past the post system is so flawed, but also how it's possible that a party with just 33% of the vote, was at 33%, ends up with so many seats, a massive majority?
Okay, well, what we have in the UK is not one general election. We have 650 separate elections in all different kinds of seats. And what that means is that you can have one party, say, with 100 votes in a seat, and one party with 99. And the party that gets 100 votes gets the seat in Parliament, and the party with 99, even though it came very close, gets nothing, which means...
You know what, yeah? I reckon, yeah, if they done the first past the post system, there would be like a lot more smaller independent parties that would end up with,
A seat at least.
you know, a seat at the table and all that sort of stuff there.
Well, that's what
And,
democracy
you
is,
know,
isn't it?
without
Should have done.
people having to go while out to go to like a party like BNP or Reform or
Exactly.
UKIP
What do
or
they call
whatever,
it?
you know what I'm
Protest
saying?
voting.
Like, so
They get them protest
people,
voters.
people that wanted to vote for them would actually just vote for them, and people that wanted to vote for whichever policy that other MPs were saying that they wanted to vote for would just vote for them instead, innit? Like, I do reckon it would change it up quite a lot, man. And I don't know why they're not doing the first past the post. It's obviously the big two really benefits them, innit? Because, you know, they have the majority say in Finwap, and it's just a rotation between Labour and Labour and Conservatives at the top of the table instead of a breakdown between, you know what I'm saying, like couple Labour, couple so and so, couple, you know. Yeah, man. Shout out, man, like we them for wetting. They in the building. You get me? Accelerate. Yeah, because move faster. Not move faster. Jeez. Reform will smash it next election. I'm not too sure still, man. I don't think Donald Trump's going to do well in America. And where Reform are basically just copying Donald Trump word for word. Hey, if he says, it's like, man said that if Donald Trump tomorrow says, okay, Russia's the enemy, yeah, all these men are going to go, yeah, do you know what? Actually, Russia's the enemy. Yeah. So, I'm not too sure about that still. But anyway, go on, man. Let it play.
Means that you can pile up votes in seats where you mean nothing for you. You don't gain from them, and if you win by even a narrow margin, you can win the seat. So the thing about first past the post is it's not proportional. It's skewed by the fact that it depends by what margin you win seats in these 650 constituencies. So it's a very unfair system, and it means that if you come second in many seats, then you won't get many MPs in Parliament. But if you manage to narrowly win a seat in many seats, then you will get overrepresented in Parliament, even though you may lose very heavily in other areas. It's a bit of a difficult concept to explain, but basically that's how it works with first past the post.
No, I think you did a wonderful job there. Yes, so we've seen it with Labour recently, where they won a massive majority, but they've described it as very shallow, where they won with very small majorities.
Yeah. So if I can continue on my tour of the democratic scene in the UK, the next thing, of course, is our constitution, which is we don't have a codified constitution.
Yo, yeah, man, it's mad still. Imagine, yeah. The dude literally just said what man said. Yeah, these dudes are trying to say, man, some clueless guy is crazy. But he's yeah, man. Like, why wouldn't you want a more equal system? Why wouldn't you want more people to have the opportunity to get into the positions of, you know, being able to make a change in all the things that we complain about? That's the wildest thing, yeah, is that like every time something that can make some sort of changes, or at least one of the changes start to come to fruition or whatever, people fight against it, innit? No, no, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. So. Wow, Carl, you say cows, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah? Come on. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What you calling?
What numbers wise?
Yeah,
I'm
nah.
not
You know
saying
what?
no. I'm
It
not
don't
saying.
even
I'm not
fucking
saying.
matter, bruv. Like, as long as it's by the time it gets to like fucking 7, 8, it's like, you know.
Yeah. You do what you can, innit?
Mm. Hey, them man are saying that you're doing curls like that, yeah, so you can lift forks. That's a preacher curl means that is you can throw chocolate in your mouth. 1 chocolate, 2 chocolate. Yeah. Hey, yeah, go on, come, man. All right, go on, let me play a little bit more, man. Sorry, mate.
There are only 3 countries in the world without a codified constitution. The other 2 is New Zealand and Israel. We have a written constitution in the sense that documents do exist on paper, but we don't have one that brings them all together in an easy way to understand. So if you go into any high street and ask people, what do you know about the British Constitution? It'll be a very short conversation because people don't. And unless you bump into a constitutional law professor, which is highly unlikely, you're not going to get much sense from anyone. And I would suggest that a country which doesn't have a clear set of rules about how the different parts of its democracy interact, so that citizens don't understand what's going on, that's quite a shortfall in democracy. And the final point I'd like to make is that when it comes to local government, we have one of the most centralized countries in Europe. In fact, I've been told it's the most centralized country. So local authorities are highly dependent on the centre for funding, the Treasury. And as we've seen, that can sometimes result in bankruptcy, as we've seen in Birmingham and other cities. As you know, that there are not many bankruptcies of local authorities in probably Italy, and certainly I've never heard of one in France or Germany. So all in all, it's a pretty shoddy arrangement, really, British democracy. And the thing that I think is incredible about Britain is that it seems to put tradition in terms of democracy far more important than functionality and modernity in a way that we would never entertain in our private lives. For example, if you had a Tesla and I said to you, would you like to swap your Tesla Max for a Morris Minor? Because that was a wonderful example in the 1960s of British car manufacturing. It's really part of our heritage. Wouldn't you like to have that instead of your air-conditioned electric Tesla? You would tell me where to go in no uncertain terms. But when it comes to our political institutions,
I told him, man, you're doing tell him, bro, preacher goes for the uppercut. You hear me? Tiger, tiger, tiger,
Yeah.
uppercut. Yeah, cuz. You mean? Cause there, man. You get me? There, the Jimisha. Yeah, come on, bad
That's
man,
it.
I go at gym. You see?
Back on biceps, I get lit out.
Yeah, cuz. How you mean? How you mean?
I should come
I
down to my
smoke
gym for the
G.
day, man. Nice.
What?
It's nice here.
Yeah, yeah. Where's that? What in fucking Izzy? Yeah.
No.
I don't even know
Near
what
Muswell
green
Hill.
lanes and all that.
Muswell.
Muswell Hill,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just waiting for
Yeah,
one
Cardiff's
cable
in
to
posh end
free up
still.
now and do my little readouts and then I'm out of here. Hit the cardio.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Wait, how long you been in there for?
Now, do you know what? I still got to do my cardio, so I'm going to be here for a little while still.
Uh-uh.
I'm just cutting back on the weights because I've been doing like 40 minutes weights and 10-minute cardio. I need to switch that around.
You know, you should do that, yeah. You should crack on with that.
Nah.
Up the cardio when the
Yeah, I'm gonna
cardio
up the
gets
cardio.
easier.
Yeah.
Nah, up the carry on with this amount of time that you're doing the weights or whatever. And then start with a low cardio and then up the cardio when that gets easy, innit? A 10 at the end, start 10 at the end, 15 at the start,
Yeah?
15 at the end,
Right, so
20 at the start, 20 at the end, 25, you know. Build up, cuz, man.
no, my endurance is there on the cardio. It's just that it just gets so boring. Like really, I can do 90 minutes on cross trainer, no problem. Like lick it out proper, like intense. Like my endurance is
I can
there.
never go on that cross trainer, cuz.
Cross trainer is the best. How you don't like cross trainer?
Feels like I'm trying to be
What
like Mrs.
cardio?
Belly on the
What do
cross
you do
trainer.
then? What do you do?
Walk uphill.
What treadmill?
Mainly walk
Uphill
uphill,
treadmill.
running, yeah.
Oh, running.
slow
Oh
jog.
yeah. Because I only do
Just
cross trainer
like,
because I can't run in it. I've got a bad knee and I can't
really
really do
like, not even sprinting in that, cuz, man.
oh yeah. I've got a spot now.
But
Oh no. Someone's there.
I'm gonna start a couple of sprints though, still, man. You know, I can't lie. A few sprinters are cut still.
Yeah, sprinting serious, man.
Yeah, you should, and you got like a step counter as well. You should try and get your step counter on. Get 10k steps in. Start off at 8k or something. You know what I mean? Even 6k.
Yeah.
And build it up.
What I might do that in the morning. I might just come in the morning and just do like 1 hour just like walking.
Yeah, just do uphill walking, man.
No, it doesn't have to be uphill. Just like 1
Yeah,
hour
yeah, no.
walking.
But I'm saying that uphill, steady state cardio. You could start seeing a little difference, man. But when it gets easy, you know, you gotta up it though still.
Yeah, cool. Be progressive, innit?
Yeah, strolling. Khan's gonna be a strolling the 10k steps and saying, I ain't up in shit, B.
I'm gonna go downstairs, see if I can put this read out.
Oh shit.
Oh, wait a minute.
We got a customer from Mulatto in the building.
What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Yes, the American. What's happening?
Yes, actually, I'm in the States right now. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm in Maryland.
Shout out Captain America though, man. Black power, innit, man?
Mulatto power. Yes, American power.
The Black Captain America power, cuz.
And I'm gonna be
Black
honest
Captain
with you.
America power, fam. You're going.
Me being in Maryland right now and seeing the rate that the illegal aliens are being mass deported, it's a beautiful sight. It's a beautiful sight.
He's lying. He's not there. He's not there.
I'm literally in Maryland right now.
Put your camera on so we can see a street sign.
I'm arresting my anonymity. But actually, they did a all right. They did a 60 minutes documentary.
We don't believe
special.
you. You need more people.
The illegal aliens that are being deported believe me. Checkmate.
But we don't believe you. You need more people.
All right, Jay-Z. And that's the thing about you British. You love the Americans. You're so jealous of the Americans. You
But we
emulate the
still
Americans.
don't believe you.
You
Even
want
though
to
you're
be
trying to
the
bait and
American.
switch, we still
Now
don't
that I got
believe
y'all on the
you.
phone.
You need more
Let me say this.
people.
Now that I got
How
y'all
can
on
the
the
English
phone.
be jealous of Americans? Who the fuck Americans, bro?
You want to be Americans. Y'all wear
Bro,
Nike.
we
You all
started,
wear
bro.
Nike. You
We
all
started this shit
stole the drill rap. How did
brick by brick.
Nike? Hold on. Nike is from goddamn Oregon. Checkmate. How the fuck did y'all start Nike when
We
Nike is
started
from
this shit, bro.
Oregon in the U.S.?
We put you on. We put you
So
on.
that man, if it
You're
weren't for
trolling.
England
You're
and
trolling. You're
Europe, there wouldn't
trolling.
even be you lot wouldn't even be there, bruv. You're a fucking descendant of a slave that was kidnapped there, bruv. You
And I'm
should
a
just
descendant
remember
of a
how you
Native
got there.
American as well. Yes, I'm a mixed
Yeah,
breed.
that was
Yes.
wiped out. That was wiped out
Well,
by the ones
I'm
that
still
came there
here.
and padded
Checkmate.
up the place.
And I'm still here. Checkmate.
You're not a
I
Native
got you
American. Let's
there.
put your camera on so
got,
we can see you.
got you there. Well,
Nah,
listen,
but
everyone
let's see you
listening,
then,
just go
man.
to
Because
my
you don't
page.
look
You can
kind of
see
Native
me
American to me.
Well, I'm trying to have a dialogue with you.
Your
All right, go ahead.
your thing, Bob, your avatar, yeah, is black and
Yes.
white with a grey cross in it, like, so you know,
Yes,
if you
the
mix
mulatto
black and white
flag.
together,
Yes,
it
you
goes
will
grey.
respect. You will
So,
respect the mulatto flag. Yes.
well, what
This is the
can we see
mulatto
you
flag.
then?
You will
Because like
honor it.
that's not what a
You
Native
will pay
American looks like, innit?
allegiance. You will pledge allegiance to this mulatto
Yeah,
flag.
but,
You hear me?
bro, you just claim to be a
You
Native
hear me?
American
Yes.
and a
Yes, I'm mixed
mulatto
race.
and
I'm
a
mixed race.
European
Yes, I'm
and
mixed
an
race.
African and
Yes,
an
I'm mixed
Asian.
race. Yes, I'm mixed race.
Yeah.
But now that we got
Okay.
that out
So
the
can we
way,
see you now? Can we see you some evidence?
I'm arresting my anonymity.
Yeah.
But I will say this though,
Okay,
respectfully,
man.
I've been watching some Tommy. God damn it, what's his last name? The British Patriot. What's his last name?
Tommy
Tommy.
Sotomayor.
not him. But god damn it, what's his name? You know his name, Tommy. What the fuck is his name? But I've been watching his documentaries, and I've been honest with you. I've been looking for the racism. I have not been able to find any racist statement that Tommy has made. So why are you all, as immigrants in his country, why do you all categorize him as racist? With all due
Why is
respect,
it his country? Why is it his country, not mine?
because he's indigenous and you're not.
You're an
No, he's
immigrant in
not. No, he's
America,
not.
bro.
He's
You're a
What are you talking
indigenous
guest.
to
about?
Ireland.
You're a
He's
guest.
You're a
indigenous
guest
to
in
Ireland.
America. You're an
You're a
immigrant in
guest.
America. America's
I'm
not your
Native
country.
American. Checkmate. I'm
You're
Native
not
American.
Native
Checkmate.
American, bro. Get out of
Yes.
it. We can't even see you. We've
me
not
say
seen your DNA evidence. We can't see your skin.
All right.
We can't even see what you look like.
I don't have to prove myself to a tether
You
like
just
you.
okay,
Respectfully.
so are you Spanish as well?
Yes, and
And
Portuguese.
you're German.
Yes,
And you're German, yeah.
and Irish.
And
Yes.
English? You English?
A small percentage, negligible.
Yeah,
Yes.
you Scottish.
No, I didn't see any of that on my DNA test results.
You're Irish.
I didn't see any of that. Yes, Irish. Yes.
Are you Polish?
No, I didn't see any of that on my DNA
Are
test.
you Lithuanian?
No, not at all.
Are you Russian?
No, I'm not.
You're just like
Yes,
just
but
pretending
with
to
all
be
due
from
respect,
places, bro.
and I'm asking this with all. This is a genuine
So
question.
you're part English, Irish, and
All right, go ahead.
what are you Welsh? Are you Welsh?
No, I didn't see any of that on my DNA test results.
Mm.
So your immigrant gaslighting tactics are not working. I see you attempting to chimp out,
Not an
but it will
immigrant,
not
bro.
work. It will not work. But the
If
question
you're
is,
not an immigrant in
all right, go ahead,
America, I
make it,
don't know how I can be an immigrant in England. I don't get that.
because you have no indigenous English ancestry. Checkmate.
You don't have no indigenous American ancestry. We can't even
I
see
do.
your
Checkmate.
indigenous American ancestry.
I do. Checkmate.
You was the descendant
Okay.
of people that was kidnapped and brought to the place and brutalized.
And they mix with the indigenous population. Checkmate. Checkmate.
Not all of them did.
It's nowhere around me.
Not all of them did, man.
Let me educate
Your
you.
ancestors didn't. Let's see.
Let me educate
Bro.
you. All right,
Pull
go
up
make
your
it quick.
DNA. Pull up your DNA thing, bro, so we can black out your name and let's see
Yes.
your results in it, because you just keep saying the same shit every show
Yes.
with no evidence. Just gas. You're doing the immigrant gaslighting. You're an immigrant. That's gaslighting. You know
All
what
right,
I'm
I'll
saying?
let you attempt to gaslight. You cannot project on me. I know that you are an immigrant. In
You
fact,
are an immigrant. That's
in the
gaslighting.
UK.
You weren't born in. Your ancestry didn't start in America.
Hold on. You say I got you figured out, right? When I coined the phrase immigrant gaslighting disorder, it really brought you out of the closet, which you needed to come out. Oh shit! Look, I got a phone call coming in. I'm gonna come back up. You gonna be live for a minute?
Yeah. Man
I'll
said
be
out
back.
of the
Peace.
closet, why for that, cuz man. Bad man in our closet, you see it? You see it? Lord. Yeah, man. Man's never in no fucking closet, cuz. Like, you're trying to say, cuz his brother just basically tries to say he's from everywhere where you're gonna be able to pull any sort of conversation about any sort of links to America, any first world economy, or any other place that you're just going to discuss, man. Yeah, well, I've got an ancestry from there. You know? Uh, you ain't got shit, cuz. Just, all he's got is checkmate without a chessboard. Mad. They play.
We're very happy to have ones that were inherited from the age of the horse and cart centuries ago, and we don't think it's necessary to upgrade them. I mean, we never take that attitude to computers. We wouldn't use an old computer. We wouldn't use an old car. We constantly in our private lives renew our tools and things. And so it seems incredible to me that we have this kind of reverence for tradition and for heritage that we would never keep in our normal lives. And I think that's a big failing of the UK, because I think the modern challenges that we face are going to overwhelm a democracy with such old-fashioned tools.
And which do you see as the most urgent to fix? So you've laid out a lot of problems there. Which do you think is the most urgent to be resolved?
Well, I would say there are two things that I would do. And one of them is symbolic, and the other one would be a huge sea change in politics immediately. So for the symbolic change, I would advocate moving the Parliament away from Westminster to somewhere like, for example, Birmingham or Manchester, somewhere out of London with a fantastic modern building, which would symbolize Britain's intent to become a modern country and to adapt to the challenges of the 21st century. I think the Palace of Westminster is unsuitable for a number of reasons. First of all, it's a palace, and it's actually from the monarchy, and I don't think it's very suitable to have a democratic parliament in a palace. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it's a dysfunctional building. There are only like 437 places on the benches that we know so well for 650 MPs. So they're not even enough seating arrangements. And can you imagine a boardroom with fewer seats than directors, or a classroom with fewer seats than pupils? It's absurd. And that means that because they're not dedicated seats for individuals, there's no electronic voting, which means that people have to spend 20 minutes walking into lobbies to be counted, which is a very old-fashioned way of doing business. And then there's the shape of the chamber, which is oblong or rectangular. And this pits the opposition against the government and creates a very adversarial atmosphere, as we know in PMQs every week, with a lot of shouting and rude behavior. If we had a round chamber in a modern building, as everyone else seems to do in Europe, then we would have a more collegiate atmosphere, a more sort of civilized, with better decorum, and a shape that would lend itself more to coalitions, cooperation, etc., etc. And not to mention the actual design of the building is very much associated with the kind of era of aristocracy and elitism. So it's often said that people from public schools feel very much at home in the House of Commons, whereas people from the working class or women, because there are portraits of powerful men everywhere, that they don't really feel at home. So I would say, let's get a British architect to build us a wonderful modern building, and make a statement of intent. But I forgot to mention that it's also a death trap, that
Yes.
there are many problems of faulty electrical wiring or unsafe electrical wiring. They have to have 24-hour patrols to make sure the place doesn't go up in flames. There's even Victorian sewage ejectors, and people say there might be a tsunami of sewage exploding at some point.
So should they build a new Houses of Parliament when they're building proportional representation and all that sort of shit there. Like he said, the ones there's like a relic now, right? Could be just a tourist attraction. They could tidy it up. But, yeah, man. Yeah. You know what though, yeah? I'll bounce out though still, man. So, yo, Khan, no, Khan. Let's get rid of that video there. Yeah, because out of breath and that still. Out of breath still. Let me slap on one more so we can bounce out. So that did that. That. Oh yeah. I'll tell you what we're gonna bounce out to still. Funny video. Where is it? Baby, this is not on mute, yeah, so watch what you're saying. Watch what y'all say because the pagan them are listening.
I'm just gonna say dinner's nearly ready.
Okay. Alright, now this video is funny still.
Well, you're grass, yeah, bro? Well, you're grass, yeah?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you're grass, yeah? What, you're snitch, yeah? Go and tell us.
Yeah.
Go and tell us. What are you? What are you?
I'm a grass.
Oh, shit. Are you a snitch as well, yeah? Hey, Brian, you a snitch? Are you an informant? Are you an informant? You're a grass, a snitch, and an informant, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Well done, mate. Cheers.
You should be signing off boilers.